Welcome, myRockworld fans. Tonight we are in Munich, especially meeting Marillion, which is playing a concert tonight at the sold-out Muffat Hall, and we have exclusive interview with the bass player Pete Tarabas.
Yeah.
Welcome in Munich.
Yeah, danke schön.
And
Thank you.
he speaks German too, I think.
I speak
a little bit.
few words. I can order a beer.
And you may remember him because he's also playing with Transatlantic and Azizon's Children,
Yes.
which are also very good rock bands. But now we are concentrating on Marillion because this is not just a tour now. This is also a new album coming out. It's called Fair. Mm-hmm. And it's I read about that it is recorded just right now in the Real World Studios.
Yes, yeah, we did some.
So the first question is, you do record this new album, and all that is the tour before releasing the album. So tell us all the facts about the new album, how it's been created, how far you are in the process, and what it's all about.
Yeah, the process is right at the end now. While we were, so we came off tour from the last album, Sounds That Can't Be Made, and instead of locking ourselves away for 2 or 3 years, we decided we would try and create the music around the other work we were doing. So we still did touring, we still did conventions, and we did 2 short South American tours. And while we were doing all of that, when we were rehearsing, we would be jamming and coming up with little ideas. And over about a year and a half, we amassed lots of building blocks, which became the starting points for, of the arrangement of the songs. So there's 5 songs on the album, and essentially.
So 5 songs,
there's
longer.
There's 3 very long songs,
very
and,
good.
and 2 short songs, which are still
cool.
6.5, 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an album of big themes, big music. There's a lot of musical passages. It's quite progressive.
Yes.
It's modern and progressive at the same time. It's modern, progressive, and also progressive in what seems to be the term as well. So, very orchestral, very rich sounding album.
Okay, but it's not. It is not an concept album.
There are concepts.
Because what is the name Fair? What
Fear
for you?
Fear stands for fuck everyone and run, fuck everyone and run.
Understand.
Is the
You do your thing.
well, what it is that it's not said out of it's said out of sadness, really. It's not said out of a shock value. We're not trying to be young punks.
Yes.
We're not trying to recapture our youth. It's a nod at society. It's a nod at and funnily enough, the attitude fuck everyone and run, which is what the banks and big corporations
Yes.
and a lot of the governments
Yes.
of the day
Yes.
seem to be instilling spells fear, and that seems to be what is building up in a lot of people's societies. A lot of societies around Europe and the rest, a lot of other countries around the world. There's a sense of foreboding. There's a sense that something is really going to implode and change.
And this is the key to combine the album.
Yeah, that's kind of the big key. And so the first song, The New Kings, is really about the oligarchs and the banks and the way that big industry is really not just looking after itself. We look after ourselves, and there's a sort of a society within our society that is just getting richer and more powerful.
This is interesting.
And everyone else
to be a little bit.
The banks, we can pull the banks down, but we don't have to worry about that. Everybody else will pay for that mistake. We're above all of that. And then there's another song called El Dorado, which is again, it's about the manipulation of the poor people. There's elements of the Grapes of Wrath, say, or various other writers' sort of ideas.
Interesting,
And it's a kind of a look at what we used to have, what we used to think our country or our countries were. It's a look at England from our point of view. It's a look
Yes.
at England, what we used to think England was, and what it used to have. It used to have worth to it, and it used to have an honour.
Does the Brexit anything change in writing the songs?
Well, no, because all of most of these songs, most of the lyrics, unfortunately, it's very hard to get this across now that this has happened. But most of these lyrics were written before all of this happened.
My God.
Steve, we just knew there was a sense of something going on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, something was going to have to change, and something is going to have to change.
Do you have any strategy in writing and recording the song? So you told us about you were touring, and between the touring you did some sessions and collected.
We did lots of jamming.
It's a lot of jamming, and out of the jamming you create the song and then go into the studio, or how?
Pretty much, yeah.
Really?
We had a cloud where we would have all our ideas.
Okay.
And we had hundreds of ideas, and then we have our sort of mentor and producer and co-writer and arranger really, Mike Hunter.
Yes.
He put his life and soul into this project. He had a vision.
This is
of what
interesting.
He thought where the music could be going.
Yeah.
And out of our jams and a lot of the ideas, where the lyrics made sense to be put with the music.
When is the album being released?
The album is being released in, that's a good question, September the 24th, I think.
Okay, September 24th, 2016.
Yes, 2016.
myRockworld members.
Yeah.
And this
so it's all gone off to manufacture.
Cool, very
At the
good.
moment, we're approving artwork.
And how was it recording in the Real World Studios? This is a very famous studio, my God. Peter Gabriel's studio.
Well, we waited. What we did is we did a lot of recording at our place because we have our own studio. Mm-hmm. And then we waited until we were at a specific point in the album where we would benefit from having more consolidated hours.
Yeah.
And we went there for a week. And in a week, we just immersed, because it's a residential studio.
Yes.
For people who don't know it, it's a residential studio in the middle of nowhere.
Wow, it's cool.
Near Bath Bath is in Avonshire, Avon. It's near Bath in the south of England, and it's a beautiful.
Near Bath, where the famous festivals were in the 70s.
Exactly, yeah, and it's just got a beautiful setting. You have your own environment. We stay next door to the studio, and it's all in its own grounds. There's little cottages for us to sleep in. There's a breakfast room in a big house.
So you lived there for 1 week?
We lived there for a week.
Wow.
And of course we come down to breakfast talking about what we were doing the night before,
Yeah.
So we're just thinking and breathing
So
music.
very concentrated process.
Very, very concentrated.
No partying anymore, just...
We're a bit old for partying. we might open a couple of bottles of wine with dinner,
Very good.
But chasing after giggly girls and you're getting up to mischief, we leave that to the young rascals of the day.
As we all know, you're now on tour, also on tour in Germany, today in Munich. And what can we expect from the show tonight? Are you playing some of the new songs?
Yes.
Really? How much you play?
Well, we are playing quite a considerable amount of the new album, but it's actually one song.
Yeah.
It's an umbrella title called The New Kings, and it has 5 or 6 or 7 smaller sections.
So it's a good thing to test it. Very good.
And this is our third show.
Yeah.
We played Barcelona 3 days ago, and then we played Madrid, and yesterday we were travelling to beautiful Munich.
Very nice.
Which, it's nice. It's lovely to be in Germany. Actually, it's lovely to be in Germany because
thank you. It's
we've had some fantastic moments.
You have very loyal fans.
We have very loyal fans, and we have a great history here. And we're looking forward to playing tonight and playing the new song.
Very good.
For everyone.
Peter, tell me, because this is a nice question for we always like to know, what were your heroes starting to play out music?
Oh God, my first heroes were the Beatles.
Okay.
I was lucky, being of an age where I was born in 1959, so I grew up in the 60s with the likes of. I grew up when pop music with the Kinks and the Who and the Beatles and the Stones turned into rock music
Yeah.
and then psychedelic music
Yeah.
and progressive music, and it all, you know, so I grew up with all of that music being played on the radio.
Yeah.
And my dad was a mad jazz fanatic. I used to listen to big band jazz.
Okay.
I was Duke Ellington and Count Basie
Yeah.
and people like that. So I had an awful lot of music going around in my head when I was a child,
Cool.
and then I really got into. I suppose when I started to play, I started to listen to more complex stuff like Yes, King Crimson, Genesis, Camel, Caravan.
All the great,
You name it,
all the great prog rock bands from the
Jethro
70s.
Tull,
Yeah.
all of them. Yeah, all the great bands, and of course they were. I used to mostly listen to English bands, but there are a few American
Yeah.
bands in there as well.
But not the prog. The biggest prog bands are all English.
Well, I think so. Yeah, for some reason.
Because yes,
or Italian. There was PFM. as
PFM
well.
was a perfect
PFM and
band.
Leo May and
Yeah.
there's a couple of others. And then of course, Tangerine Dream. How can I forget Tangerine
Germany,
Dream? Were
yes.
massive.
Yeah.
And so different. It was great to see that, and then it was great to see that morph into the industrial side of craft
Yeah.
work, and then you know, who came after craft? Oh, there was craft work, Daft Punk, and then Hot Chip.
Yeah.
They all have a kind of
Yeah.
a similarity and a vein,
Yeah.
and so it's great to see all of that kind of thing going
Cool.
on.
As we all know, the music business has changed dramatically. What is your way to survive and be successful?
Well, you have to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have something unique. You don't have to. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe. If you want to tell something about something, you can only do that if you truly believe in it yourself.
You're right.
So you have to have an honesty and a soul. You have to be soul searching, and then you have to obviously be a little bit computer savvy. I think these days you have to know your way about how to get yourself noticed. Because it's great being able to post anything, anywhere, at any time, but of course everyone else in the world can do the same thing. So you have to have an angle, don't you? You have to have something to sell, and something to say, and give people a good reason to listen to you. And if you give people a good enough reason to listen to you and what they like, they hear what they like.
There's a sentence which says, "Quality always will find its way."
There is. I'm not sure whether that always happens.
Yeah.
But persistence is always needed as a musician. If I was talking to young musicians, I would say the thing, you have to believe in yourself and you have to be persistent.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared to put the hours in, walk about, or you know, get about on your computer and knock doors down and be prepared to be told no and not believe that. Believe in yourself more than other people. Because you know what you're trying to do and they don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't understand it because they're either too old or they're too set in their ways.
You have to do your thing.
Yeah, you have to do your thing.
Yeah, that's right. Last question. Please tell us a secret or a funny story about Marillion that nobody knows. Maybe a funny turbo secret.
Oh, well, there are a few funny secrets, but I'm not sure how many of them I can actually say. One thing that people don't seem to get about Marillion, although I think some of our fans are so, is that we get on incredibly well. We have the best time.
Well,
We always do. We can get in a room, and we can be having a shit day or we can be having a great day. But whatever happens, we will find a way to have a great laugh about it. And we're good friends. That's the most important thing. When people say, "How come you guys are still together?" We actually get on. We actually enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
And we still love the music we work on. It's great to see that everybody still gets excited about going to the studio and being creative.
Wow. How can you say that about 20 years, 30 years?
I mean, it is we're very lucky. We appreciate we're very lucky. And we have the ideal job.
Yeah.
We get to please ourselves and do whatever we want. But of course there are
the ups and downs.
Certain things. There are ups and downs, and we have deadlines to fulfil, and we put pressure on ourselves more than other people do. But we actually enjoy what we do.
Cool. Last but not least, some words to your fans, please.
I'd just like to say thank you for supporting us and caring about what we do enough and I hope you don't feel taken for granted, because we certainly don't take anything for granted, and we really appreciate what it means for people to sort of back us and have faith in what we do.
Yeah.
It allows us the freedom to do something truly unique.
Very good.
And that gives us more pleasure than you can ever imagine.
Good last words. Thank you, Peter. Have a great show.
Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. Good luck getting us all together for the photo.
I need